So another problem. Again, now this guy up front equals to a half. Well, do we GCF it? Well, this is what it says. Well, there's two schools of thought on this. School of thought number one would be, yeah, let's go out and GCF. Let's take out the half. But remember what taking out a half means. Taking out a half or factoring out a half from every one of these means to divide by a half, which you remember in grade 7, dividing by a fraction means to multiply by its reciprocal. So you're in fact multiplying everything in this bracket by 2. So there's your factor outside here of a half. Half of 2 is going to just give you x squared. Half, or I should say, dividing by a half. So 2 times negative 1 gives you negative 2x. 2 times negative 4 gives you negative 8. And if you don't believe me, well, go back and just distribute it back in. Look, half of x squared gives you half x squared. Half of negative 2 gives you negative 1. Half of negative 8 gives you negative 4. So you haven't done anything. You haven't done anything crazy yet. Okay? You've just factored out a half by multiplying everything by its reciprocal, which just happens to be 2. Then you can go out and PSA this. But that's one school of thought. I want to show you the other school of thought on this because I think it's really cool to see. Now, let me clean this up so you can see the original again. Right? Now, one of the important things here that we have to remember is that we're finding the x-intercepts. Finding the x-intercepts is, guess what? When y equals to 0. Now, that's really, really powerful because look what we have now. We have a half x squared minus x minus 4 equaling to 0. Do you remember last year in systems of equations in Math 10C how we got rid of that half? Do you remember? We multiplied both sides by 2, right? So half of 2 becomes, guess what? X squared. 2 times minus x is minus 2x. 2 times minus 4 becomes minus 8, equaling to 2 times 0, which is 0. But wait a second. Wait a second. Isn't this guy over here also equal to 0? And like I did in the last question, can't we divide out a half from both sides? Canceling this, giving you x squared minus 2x minus 8. 0 divided by a half is just 0. And look how these two questions are exactly the same. That just absolutely blows my mind. It's just amazing that we can do that. And the only reason why we can do that is because of this. We let the y equals to 0. What we do to the left side, we do to the right side. So we can either cancel out the fractions or we can GCF them out. Either way, we get exactly the same expression. So PSA then would be negative 8. Sum would be negative 2. Two numbers together would be negative 4 and 2 because negative 4 plus 2 gives me negative 2 here. Answer, negative 4 and 2. Then we can go over here and say, okay, x minus 4, x plus 2, that equals to 0. Make that look more like an x. There you go. Okay, x minus 4 equals to 0. X plus 2 equals to 0. Bring the 4 over. X equals to 4. X equals to minus 2. So you know your graph is going to be 1, 2, somewhere there. 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere out here. It's going to look sketch like that. There are your intercepts. I think this is an awesome question. Go back and look at this one again and watch what I do. But remember, the important thing, the only way you can do this is by letting the y equals to 0. Otherwise, yep, you got to go back to the old grade 10 method and leave that GCF up front. Cool thing in this case, the GCF is gone.